So for this video, I'm going to show you Azure Databricks. So that's great. Databricks is created. That's your name for it. So and so pricing tier, let's do the trial. It's free. Databrick units. So it's free for 14 days, but there's two charges. One is the tier, and another is to run the virtual machines, and I'll show you that later. But so even though this is free, you still have to pay for the virtual machines part of it. So I'm gonna come back once deployed. Okay, it's ready. Let's go to it. And let's launch the workspace. And we're gonna create the cluster when it's ready. Alright. So let's create cluster, give it a name. Let's do single node, because I don't need all that. Give you a Spark version. It'll terminate after 2 hours. And this is the minimum. So this is what I was talking about the virtual machine of the second thing you have to pay for. So even with the free trial, you still have to pay for this. So anyway, create the cluster. And while it's doing that, let's come back. So now we're going to create a notebook that will read the data that's in one of the storage accounts. So let's go to the storage account. I just made this one. And let's create a new container. And in it, let's put create a CSV file. Okay, so now we're going to directly read the data in this file that's in a notebook inside of our cluster. So I go to cluster, and it's done now. Alright, so we're in here, and it's running. Let's create a notebook. I'm going to keep it in Python and make sure it's in the cluster that you created. Let's just call it app notebook. And I'm going to pause here and come back when it's filled with code and go over it. Alright, so this is a code. So here, this demo storage 011 is just the name of the storage account that we're trying to read. The account key is to provide authorization to access the storage account. Then you get that by going to access keys, show keys, and then you copy this, put it there, and then this part right here, raw, that's the name of the container in the storage account that has the file that you're gonna, and then demo storage. So again, the name of the container, the storage account, and then that's good. And this is just mounting the storage account. So keep all that. And then here is the file name that's inside of the container. Demo.csv. So all this is doing is all this is just connecting to the storage account through a mount point so that we can read this demo.csv file in the storage account. So after you've done all that, then we got to run it, run the cell, Invalid characters in host name. Let me check that. Okay, I'm thinking it's because when I copied this demo storage from here, it copied a space after it. So I think if I get rid of space, that should work. Let's try it. Looks like it's working. Alright, it's doing Spark job. So it's running the Spark jobs that are on this particular node in this cluster. And it got this data. So yeah, here's the information the data frame gives you. And so that's how you use Databricks. Make sure that you're not using resources that you're done with. If you go to compute, go to the cluster, and you want to terminate it because you're done with it. And then you come to your resources, and all these were created to do the Databricks. So you could just come here and delete it. And all of these should be deleted after a couple of minutes.